last week with the heat. This does bring some relief. And then let's start off across the eastern Pacific. You can see Celia here. We've been watching that since early last week, if not before, and really this just continues to weaken. Not a threat to land, maybe some shipping concerns, but notice the direction, the movement at this time, west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. Winds are at 35 miles per hour, so still a depression at this point, but we do expect this to continue to weaken here into low pressure as we head into the midweek. But it's really what we're looking at across the Atlantic that on for this week, possibly even by tomorrow. And then, of course, we also have to watch the Gulf of Mexico, the Western Gulf. That's where you have a chance of seeing tropical rainstorm conditions. It doesn't have to be a named storm, though we still might see that happen. But you could get some Atlantic here. You can see a cluster of showers and storms, and look at the general track. You can kind of see how this is just working its way from the east to the west, and this is a very rare track for it to just kind of remain to the south, but we do have many factors at play here. If high pressure in the Atlantic and you get the clockwise rotation of wind with high pressure, so a lot of this is helping to steer it, but in this general direction, there's also not a lot of wind shear. Hurricanes, they do not like wind shear, so if there's not a lot of wind shear, that means conditions are favorable for some of that tropical development. That is why we have to continue to watch. You also have plenty of warm water that you are going to be working with. And then, of course, here you might get some land friction, so that could help as far as the system not developing as much as it may. Nonetheless, it still could, especially towards Central America. That's why we have to kind of stay aware here, as this could be the first named system. But again, we aren't going to see this impacting the U.S., so that's some good news. Watch Central America, where we have the possibility of seeing some of the highest impacts, though it is still a less than 1 for South America and the Lesser Antilles on the AccuWeather real impact scale. So what does that mean? We still have some concerns for some flooding, rainfall, and some damaging winds, and the possibility of some rough seas as we take it in from today all the way through July 2nd. Off the coast of Africa, how there was another area that we'll watch to see if there's any development, though the chance on that is going to be on the lower end. All right, now Let's talk about what's going on into the Gulf of Mexico, because this is an impact to the U.S. and you can see some of that circulation going on here right off the coast of Texas. You have a stalled boundary. You also have some moisture, and maybe into Wednesday we get the chance of an area of low pressure developing. Nonetheless, we could see a tropical rainstorm develop as far as some heavy rain here across the Houston area, Galveston as well. As we go on throughout the next couple of days, you can see over the last 24 hours it's been a decent amount of rain. You can also find that boundary here, that stalled boundary, from places like Raleigh through Atlanta. You saw those storm clouds? Well, over the last 24 hours, you picked up almost 2.5 inches of rain. So that boundary will kind of stay where it is placed, and what a dividing of air masses, where you have that drier air to the north and still south of that boundary. It's still muggy, it's still warm and humid, and your temperatures are still in the 80s. So it's still going to be steamy with a few storms right along that boundary for today, and some heavy rain expected. Panhandle, maybe some pop-up showers and storms. You'll definitely maybe see some of those clouds right off the coast there. And then, of course, into southern Georgia, having the chance to see some of those storms continue once again. By Wednesday, it's starting to warm back up again. You have some typical June heat into central Texas, and it's steamy along the coast once again. It's the Wednesday night through Friday, as I mentioned, watching the possibility of this area of low pressure to bring some intense downpours and flash flooding. This could lead to, of course, some travel disruptions, though at the same time, one central Gulf Coast. So it's not going to be very pleasant for beach days throughout this week. You have high pressure out in the Atlantic that steers some of that moisture in. You also have that area of low pressure, that counterclockwise rotation, bringing in some moisture as well right into New Orleans.